Greetings YouTube and welcome to my latest weapons build. This is a piece of square stock tubing which has sealed ends. It is 64 inches long. It is 1.5 by 1.5 square. I want to turn a portion of this into a geometric mace. So what I want to do is I want to get 3 segments which are cubes. So they will be 1.5 inches long. This will be the end of it, obviously. It's got a nice cap on it. And the other 2 are going to be what allows me to create, well, the center one's going to be what makes this a real geometric mace, because the first and the third are going to be the same. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do a fourth or not. That's really going to be dependent upon how I think this looks vibe-wise. But if I don't, the first and third will be in line with each other, and the middle will be set at 45 degrees. If I use 4, the first, second, and fourth will be set at 45 degrees to the first and third. So you'll have 90, 45, 90, 45. And that'll give you many peaks. This is kind of inspired by a geometric base that I once saw actually physically in a museum in Higgins Armory. Long may she rest. It's a great place. I miss that place dearly. I recently saw a helmet for sale in an antique shop that had come out of that collection, and it broke my damn heart. But it was a geometric mace that had solid heads that were kind of set up like that. These are not going to be solid. They're going to be sitting over a wooden shaft of some variety. Now, the issue I've got at the minute is that I don't know how thick this wall is. It's pretty damn heavy. And what the inside diameter is. And I don't know if I have anything in my collection that will function as a shaft. So I'm going to have to cut 3 sections. Again, it may be 4. We'll find that out. Cut 3 sections, and I'll be using my Empire Square. I love this thing. It comes with its own little scratching awl. Just an awesome little square. Highly recommended. I got that for a song at an estate sale. But I'll be using that to set up my chop saw so I can get nice, even, square cuts. A lot of times I'm less concerned with that, so I'll use my angle grinder. But this time I very much want them to be nice and parallel and to be exactly the same size, or as close to exactly as possible. So I have to cut this up. I'm going to have to deburr the ID on the second or third piece, then search around in my shop and see if I have any pieces of wooden shaft that will function, because it needs to be round so that I can have some be rotated in orientation to the others. And if I don't have one, then it's going to be a trip to the hardware store to see if they have one. That'll be fun. We'll see what I can find to make it work, because if I find something that's a little oversized, then I can just reduce it slightly. I really don't want to have to find some way of wedging things to make it bigger. You make it fit a smaller shaft, and I don't have my own lathe, wood or metal, to turn my own shaft. So I have to really rely on what I can find. And tool handles make great ones because they're hardwood. They're almost always hardwood of some variety. Hickory, oak, something. So, first thing I need to do is put this in the chop saw and start chopping things up. It'll be fun. It's going to be noisy, and it's going to be lots of sparks. So here we go. I did in fact find a shaft. This shiny chrome shaft, which I'm not 100% sure what it was. This is salvage. I don't really remember where I got it from, but I got it, and it is just the right size. In fact, I'm going to have to tap these puppies on there when I'm ready to put them on. So I've decided to go with 5. So 1, 2, and 3 will be in line with each other, and 2 and 4 will be in line with each other. They'll be set at 45 degree angles to the odd pieces. So now I have to do some layout and start drilling 1/4-inch holes. I'm going to put 1 hole in the center of each piece, just 1. The other side will be untouched, because I'm going to put a 1/4-20 rod through there, and I'm going to use cap nuts on either side. So you're going to get the chrome from this and the chrome on that against this wonderful patina of age and the cutoff, because obviously the paint got a little bit on the toasty side when I was cutting it, but that's okay. Again, I like the vibe. It works for me. And again, I don't know what this is, and I am not going to wrap this, because this This is a big piece of tubing. Again, this is like 1.25 inches in diameter, so it'd be too large for me if I wrapped it. So it's just going to stay as is, but I think it's going to look cool when I'm finished. So the next thing is do some laying out and start doing some drilling. Though I gotta admit, I'm kind of a pain in the butt holding these in place. I'll have to figure out how I want to do that. I may end up having to use a small vise and then holding the vise with my hand, because lining up the vise so that everything was perfectly in line, I may be able to do it, I may not. We're going to figure that out. So that's the next thing. Lay out and see if I can get this thing to be consistent in drilling, make my life a little easier. So apparently I worried for nothing. I was able to clamp that corner quite well, and it does not move at all. So this is the last piece I got to do. Then I'm going to take my power file. This is the where is it? Yeah, the Wen power file. I love this thing. Highly recommended you get a power file and use it to deburr the inside of the holes, because this surface here will be coming in contact with the shaft, so I don't want any burrs in there. I don't really care if there's a few burrs on the outside, and actually the holes are coming out really clean. They're coming out nice and clean, so I'm not having to worry about that. This is nice. This stuff drills good. I'm really happy with this. I have no idea what it is, mind you, but it drills well. So turn the light on, and let's do the last one. So all of them are in place, and I have the first one installed because I want to have that as something I can push against so that I can get these as tight as possible. And all I had to do after I deburred the insides and cleaned them out with some steel wool was push them on by hand, going very straight down, going very slowly and carefully. It's wonderfully snug. I am very, very happy with this fit. So now I got to figure out how I want to hold this thing so that I can get this at 45 degrees to that. So that's my next task. Woohoo! So much fun. And here we have the final piece. And I did not have to have as much complexity involved in that drilling because, well, have you ever heard the phrase overthinking a plate of beans? I'm guilty of that. So what did I do? I lined it up by eye. I put the thing on here because this is narrower than 1.5 inches, and I just drilled it by hand. Didn't even clamp it in place. But the result speaks for itself. This thing is just lovely. Look at that. Look at that. That's just beautiful. And I got set these up so that they're in a spiral. So they go all the way around like that. So I think it's kind of cool. And this gives it a nice amount of heft without actually being too heavy. Obviously, this is a two-handed weapon. I had intended it to be a two-handed weapon. If I were to make a smaller one of these for a one-handed, I would use a smaller scale, probably 1-inch tubing instead of 1.5. I think 1-inch tubing would be nice. I don't know if I'd luck into having a piece of tubing or wood, tool handle in my stash that would fit 1-inch tubing, but I lucked out on this one. So there you go, folks. That's the complete geometric mace, which I think is really cool. I like the silver here and the silver here against the contrast of that really beat up, trashy piece of steel. I think it came out really well. Alrighty, so now I'm going to go take some stills for my video as well as my DeviantArt page. And if you don't follow me on DeviantArt and Instagram, you should. DeviantArt is the permanent home of all of the stills for my projects. And Instagram is where I post bargains, sneak previews, deals I get, and the finished products themselves, as well as cute cat pics. And who doesn't love a cute cat pic? Thank you. Hope you enjoyed yourself, and hope you come back for the next one.